Part of the great English humiliation last weekend, Exeter were one of those not quite disgraced then, and here their dignity was way beyond reproach. Yet the cold truth is they return from Dublin with a defeat. England's champions now face a fight outside the back door into the quarter-finals. Leinster were way below their best, but like the champion team they are, of rather more experience and pedigree, they found their way to victory, having ridden the loss of Johnny Sexton to a head injury in only the 3rd minute and an assault upon their defences by an Exeter side transformed. The hosts had to ride their luck, too. Cian Healy would have seen red on another day for his forearm to the head of the superb Luke Cowan-Dickie in the first half. How Leinster turned round a mere 8 points adrift will require some explaining by Exeter's analysts, but that they did. Leinster are now 5 points clear at the top of Pool 3, but they know they got away with one here. Where last week Exeter were inexplicably flat in front of their home fans, this time it was Leicester's turn. Exeter burst into the game as if they had taken their own flop the week before. More than a little personally, they were unrecognisable. Sam Simmonds was brought in to inject some pace round the fringes, where Cowan-Dickie, Matt Kvasic and the rest thrived as well. Exeter hogged 3/4 of the first half-hour's possession, pulling Leinster into all sorts of uncomfortable shapes. The home side responded with some tackles of a horribly clumsy nature, gratuitously high. 3 players required treatment for head clashes that owed to nothing more than appalling technique. Sexton was off in the 3rd minute for a head injury assessment and did not return. His replacement was off for an HIA 4 minutes later but did, while Sean Cronin was lucky not to go off for an HIA and / or a yellow card after his head clash when tackling Don Ahmad, some 4 inches taller. And then there was Healy's clear out on Cowan-Dickie, which seemed to tick every box for a red card but somehow received only yellow. Leinster looked as lost as Exeter had at Sandy Park. When they did have the ball they kicked it away, where Ollie Woodburn, so shaky in this department the week before, ruled the air. The Chiefs had their first try after a mere 2 minutes, Sam Skinner finishing after numerous phases, then their second on the half-hour, when their maul drove through Leicester's. Scott Fardy pulled it down and saw yellow to boot. That earned Exeter a 17-3 lead, but while Fardy was away Leinster raised their game, and 2 penalties by Isa Aswar in the 3 minutes before the break pulled them back to within 8, a deficit that flattered them. Leinster had to be better in the second half. They won possession, and this time they did not let it go, keeping the ball in hand now, probing with the same sort of snap with which Exeter had been playing. Fergus McFadden cut the line a few times, but Exeter's defence held. Leinster bad their time, 2 further penalties pulling them to within 2 with a quarter of an hour to play. Then Leinster finally broke the visitors.